Hello, you are watching Dandemutande TechTalk, a program in which with leading experts in the ICT field, we discuss topics which are relevant to corporates today. I'm sure all of us can agree that there's been an unprecedented surge in new technologies in recent times and how we use them. And along these lines, there is one theme that is booming the loudest: digital transformation. My name is Dion Mpofu, and with me today to unpack this topic is Oswin Zulu, Chief Digital Officer for Zimnet. Hi Oswin, and welcome.
Hi, and thank you for having me.
Thank you. Oswin, I think today, perhaps let's start by defining our topic. What is digital transformation? What is digital leadership?
So it's very fascinating that I find that the two things that are most contradictory is digital and transformation and what it actually means to most businesses. Basing off the words, I think what most people think is from the digital, throw in technology and everything is done. But what it actually talks to is a redefinition of how the business works, especially in context of the environment that we're operating in. So if you look at it, we've moved from where businesses traditionally look at the physical realm, so having a physical shop or presence,
Yes.
to where everything can be done either online or through a phone, but it simply talks to how we can enable our businesses to better be able to deliver their products, their services through digital means.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you for unpacking that, Oswin. Now, in the last decade, speaking about digital transformation, we have seen an increase in the appreciation of the term. You know, more and more people are talking about it. But obviously, all of this is stemming from a variety of factors. What do you think is causing this? Why is it important in 2022 and more so into the future to have this conversation?
So if you look at it and you try to split it that segment into its bare essentials, at the end of the day, every business is there to serve a specific value.
Yes.
Whether it's giving the shareholder return, allowing me to be able to order food online,
Yes.
or for me to provide my child with ice cream. There's a core reason why every business is in its existence. Now, when you look at it and then you try to imagine the context in which we live in, 5 key things usually pop up, and they kind of drive the reasons why digital transformation is very pertinent these days.
Okay.
So you look at the customer, your competition, you look at innovation, you look at data, and to top it up, you look at value. Those 5 pillars work hand in hand to really give the reason why everyone is very hyped about digital transformation.
I understand. Thank you for that, Oswin. Now, when we're still talking about digital transformation, it remains an enigma to many people. Some people think of it as something that requires a lot of hard work, lengthy processes, or something extremely costly. What do you have to say about that?
Change is never easy.
Yeah.
And what we find ourselves in is at a watershed period.
Yes.
So the way we've always imagined a business, the way we've always imagined interactions is fundamentally being uprooted and being redefined in ways that are unfamiliar to us. If you go back in time, if you look at the way my grandmother banked,
Yes.
God bless her soul, you'll find that she had the small little POSB book.
Yes.
So to her, banking was all about, I have this book, my store of value is somewhere. I walk into a branch, I interface with the teller, and then I get value. Fast forward, my parents, their value changed somewhat. So an ATM card became more prevalent. So they didn't need to go to the bank. They would walk up to the ATM. I used to call it the magic wall, put in there, and then my ice cream money would come out.
Yes.
And now fast forward to our generation, I find myself struggling to have a reason to go into a bank to get money. If everything can be done through mobile money, or if I can do it online, And in the next 10 to 15 years, probably my children's experience of transacting is going to be vastly different. So all these phases indicate to the simplest thing. We're there to give service in some sort. And the way in which we offer service and people access our service has greatly changed.
That was a very profound example, you know, the timeline that you have given, just showing how it has evolved over the years, you know, technology and how we use it. For our corporates, the ones that are out there who are yet to get, you know, on the digital transformation train, what do you have to say to them?
The hardest lesson I've learned
Yes.
is slowing down.
Yeah.
It's contradictory to how we view technology as this fast-paced thing, but if you relook at everything, we all want the shiniest new toy out there.
Yes.
And what it also tells is it's a big transformation and a big change, not only from what we perceive the end result, so an app through which our customers work, but we also forget normally the people who are behind the scenes, so our own staff.
Yeah.
It's also a transformation. So with any change, slowing down and ensuring that we all move as a unit
Yes.
helps us to be able to make that change. And at times, the most difficult thing I've tried to explain or encountered is we also need to take baby steps.
True.
Everything that we look at and when we experience in digital, or when technology comes in to change things, is riddled with failures. So the one thing that we're good at pointing out is the success story. The experiments, the things that have failed, the lessons we've learned and curated from that journey are usually more important in terms of how things would work, because you're not only changing the perception of the value you're giving to your external clients, but your internal clients also have to acclimatize to the change in it. Taking us a little bit back, look at what the past 2 years have kind of upended the way business works.
Yes.
If we're to walk into any corporate boardroom and ask them that, I want you to close down your shop, let everyone work from home, people would have probably laughed at you.
True.
They would have said, whatever she's smoking, we don't know. It may be legal, it may be not, but this won't work. But we went through a point where it didn't become a fringe thing that we could experiment on.
True.
But instead, it was forced upon us. So we had our point of interaction with our clients freezed out from us. We all had to spend the whole day in pajamas, being at home, but business needed to continue.
Yes.
So it's already evolved and shown us that the way that we've imagined how a typical organization works has changed. Now, for some companies, they may never come back to have a physical presence. Instead, what they've done is to augment whatever it is they were offering, find ways in which they could still deliver it. And to top it up, there have been benefits, they've also not been benefits. At the end of the day, we're still social animals, and some level of humanity and interaction still needs to exist. It will be difficult seeing a chatbot and saying, I need to talk to your manager. But in all of that, what it's actually taught us is we need to evolve. But evolution doesn't necessarily need to happen in one big bang. The small little steps that we take. So today we can start off by doing a small little thing, getting its merits. Does it work within our environment? What do we need to tweak? What do we need to adjust? When we are comfortable and we've seen that the benefits are okay, what's our path to actually scale it up? So it's a journey that I think will have more questions than answers. Always peering into the unknown, always has that tendency to say, if it fails, why don't we resort back to what it is that we've always been used to? But with every corporate will have a different journey. Their steps will be successful. Some will move in leaps and bounds. Some will do it slowly. But the reality is our environment is changing. And much like what COVID had taught us in terms of teleworking, we still need to evolve, because if we don't, someone out there is probably thinking of how they can capitalize on the environment as is.
Okay, now Oswin, from this conversation that we're having right now, what I'm getting is that digital transformation definitely is not an event. It is something that is happening all around us, even as we are speaking right now. Technology is evolving, and we as businesses and even as individuals, we are also evolving to adapt to what is happening all around us in the technology realm. So very important, the examples that you have given about even during the pandemic, how pre-pandemic work was 8 to 5 in the office, but now it is changing. So for those organizations which are not waiting for this evolution to just happen in the background, but which are being deliberate about it, what can they do to speed up the process in their own perspective?
Dream big, be audacious, and fumble along the way. The unimaginable thing that we look at is, as long as we've got context over how things work, our desires are probably going to be different. So, turn of the 19th century, someone asked Henry Ford this. And he asked him what he thought transport would look like. And he gave this as a response to them, that if someone had asked, if we had randomly picked a person then and asked them, where do you see transport going, they would have probably asked for faster horses. But it's about the time that the car came through, and that had a different paradigm shift. So in as much as we've got everything around us, you generally find we have two kind of trains of evolution. We can reason by analogy. So this is simply taking what is there and refining it to make it more efficient. Cars, for the greater part of their journey, have more or less gone through there. So engines have become smaller, more powerful, more efficient, and everything goes through that way. But you can also reason by first principle, which is us relooking at, with the knowledge and everything that we have, how can we do the same thing better? So this, as the challenging part, is both of these present path to digital transformation in many ways. Not everything has to be a brand spanking new idea that you pull out of the hat and everyone is amazed at. Some of it can start off by refining the processes that we have, the way we do business, and change it. So banks, again, I'll pick on them because them and insurance have been late to the party, but they go through it. So world over, you've seen that banks have resorted not to have physical presence. Right here, if you move around, you find most bank branches are being closed. The onus is that they're simply asking you to do exactly the same thing that you've been doing in a bank, and simply doing it either on your phone or on your computer. Nothing's changed about it. More recently, you'll find in a more extreme place, even if you go to South Africa, there's Bank Zero. They don't literally have a physical branch. So it's an evolution in an extreme form, but what it simply gives is, at the end of the day, the service you want from the bank is going to come. So in every step, we need to, at times, realize why we're doing things. It's not always about going out buying the latest tech or the thing that makes the most sense on a brochure, but it evolves back to why we're in business. What value are we creating, both to the internal stakeholder and the external one? From there, we can change certain things in the way that we do it, and that will help us along our way. Or in where case may be, we may actually just jump the gun, leap 4 or 5 steps, and jump onto the latest, greatest thing.
Can anyone ever say that they have arrived?
Unfortunately, that answer is, I would not think so. Much like we grow every day of our lives, things change. I look at my own habits when I was growing up and I compare with my kids. My day would have been come back from school, go out and play, and come at 5, take a bath, eat supper. My kids' lives revolve around their gadgets, whether it's on TV, the tablet. So everything's always going to evolve. We're in a dynamic environment where our own needs as human beings have changed. So as long as that change is there, we will never arrive. Instead, we'll be on a constant journey where we need to refine, relearn, and evolve what it is that we do.
You mentioned the banking sector, you also brought in the insurance sector, bringing this conversation home. What technologies are critical to the cause in the insurance sector specifically?
So, insurance is a fascinating field.
Yes.
I got introduced to it some 4 years back. Many perceptions, many that have manifested, some rethoughts I've done. But if you look at insurance and its essence, so from time immemorial, the value of insurance was, should something go bad, we've got your back. We can help to cover you. And that has not really changed over the course of time. But what's becoming very apparent is that that basic construct is also changing. So it's, why should the bad thing happen?
Yeah.
And then we cover your back. What can we do before that bad thing happens?
Yeah.
And we can also help to manage that risk, because insurance is all about risk management.
Yes.
So what you've seen, especially profound, is how technology has been an enabler to help manage that risk before it happens. It's better for you, it's better for the insurers themselves. So if I tell you, well, bearing in mind the weather is not the most friendliest at the moment, run 5 kilometers a day. Me as the insurer will give you a smartwatch for free. There's a balance to it. From your perspective, you running 5 kilometers a day means your health is going to be better. We actually manage the risk that manifests in you. From the insurer part, we don't have to have that bad thing come and then we do that. But what we actually do is help to manage the risk better. So it's a big change that's coming to the field. And definitely technology will be pivotal in helping it along.
And some of these changes that you're talking about, what are customers likely to see going forward as a result of these transformations in the insurance sector? Maybe perhaps in the next 12 to 24 months, what can we be looking forward to?
So borrowing again from banking, there used to be these people called account managers in banks. So you'd go in there, they'd know your favorite hobby, and everything more or less about your life. And they would use that experience to know you better and provide better service. So whether it's just making a call on your birthday. So much like that, it's the same thing that we find that insurance is going to evolve. The aim being that the more intimate we are in knowing you as a person, the better our service can be. So knowing whether it's a good time for you to take a rest, to visit your doctor, to get your car serviced, all of those, what they will then do is to deliver a more personal experience for you as you experience insurance.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Oswin. This has been most insightful, and that's all the time that we have today. Thank you for taking the time to shed more light on this pivotal topic. And thank you all for watching Dandemutande TechTalk. Till next time, it's a wrap from us. Thank you.